This is the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report for Thursday, November 3rd. Show number 255 coming at you live from the Ron Miller Race Cars Hammer Down Racing Report studio.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Tonight on the show, we are doing the first of our Champions editions. And Limaland champions will be joining us. Todd Sherman from the Modifieds and Gabe Mueller. Second year in a row, it's for a championship for him.
That's pretty exciting.
Different track, though, this year.
Yeah.
So they'll be joining us here in a few minutes. They also both won the King of the Quarter Mile deal down there. They're that final
The
week.
big money.
Is that big money?
I think it is. It's prestigious anyway.
Yeah. And it sounds cool. I mean, you're
Yeah.
kings. Also coming up a little bit later, we'll talk about some stuff that happened this past weekend. I mean, nothing big at the finish of the Martinsville race. Nobody talking about that.
Pretty boring race.
We'll try and come up with something to talk about.
The announcers kept talking about points during the whole race, and I guess it kind of played out.
Yep, we have some Hammer Down hotline text.
Oh, I'll bet.
That we'll have to answer here. And we got a little bit of news to report, so stick around for that. Contact Freeze Frame Photos for all your racing photo needs, though, from action shots to victory lane. Now is the time to order custom gift items for your sponsors. If you can think of it, they can do it. They have all kinds of knick-knacky kind of things. Check them out at Freeze Frame Photos online on... Yeah, we got that, Billy. On Facebook, and you can see some of the stuff there, and you can give Charlie a call to order any of that stuff or ask him questions. 419-476-9978. Freeze Frame Photos, special moments frozen in time. Dominator Race Products, check them out for hood scoops, fan shrouds, nose and tail pieces, pillar and sail panels, roofs, wheel covers, and much more. They're getting close to releasing the all-new Ultimate Body Panel, which I guess that's a line that they're coming out with, which includes filler panels, quarter panels, door panels, hoods. Do you know about this?
Only that they've been very secretive about what they're made of, but I guess they're very, very durable and user-friendly.
Durable and user-friendly, so like you could ride around the outside of a wall without damaging your sheet metal?
It might put some scratches in it, but it would probably survive.
Check out DominatorRaceProducts.com or call 419-923-6970. Also available from reputable dealers across the USA, including Ron Miller Race Cars. Big D's Pizza, Subs, Ribs, Chicken, and more in Clyde, Ohio. Give them a call right now, 419-547-1444. Get some pizza, and you'll have it by the end of the show. You can watch the World Finals going on at Charlotte. I think tonight's the late models and big block modifieds.
Yep.
So we'll try and get done at a decent time so you can get to that. Did you watch last night at all?
I didn't.
I fell asleep a little bit during the sprint feature. Not because it was boring. It was just I was really tired. But I woke up for the end, which was pretty cool. We'll tell you who won that coming up a little bit later. Big D's in Clyde there. Big on taste, not on price. Make sure to follow them on Facebook so you can get the latest menu items and special offers. They had a Halloween special the other night, too. Usually they have a... we don't take Venmo. I was talking to Dean earlier today. We were trying to exchange some money, and Venmo was
really
creating some issues, yeah. So now Dean is now a Cash App guy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I heard that Venmo was charging some kind of exorbitant rates. I
haven't run into that.
I'm not much of a Venmo guy, but...
I think there was that whole deal where if it's like $600, they'll charge tax or something.
Yeah,
this
was on like a $10 sale, and there was like a $5 charge, or I don't know.
I have no idea.
It wasn't me, so I don't know.
Cash App next time on the Hammer Down Race Report. Thanks to Ron Miller Race Cars, Headhunters Barber Studio and Salon as well for sponsoring the show, making it possible. Racing Roundup action this past weekend. I got to Montpelier Motor Speedway on Saturday.
As a spectator?
As a spectator, yes. I want to thank Larry Bowes for inviting me for that. That was
really
pretty cool. Yeah. It was the first time I was there as a spectator.
No,
and let me tell you, I was hating that I didn't have a car there.
In the grandstands or in the pits?
Both.
Okay.
I wandered the pits and then settled into the grandstands for the races. But Friday night, I guess they had pretty bad wrecks there. Friday night,
I heard that
flip threw some debris into the crowd, and I guess they had to life flight somebody. I guess they ended up doing okay, but scary stuff there.
Yeah, I heard that they weren't sure whether it was a big clump of mud or if it was a race car part, but general consensus was that there was a cushion and part of it.
Oh, there was a cushion.
Oh,
At least Saturday there was.
Yeah.
Friday night, picking up the win. Actually, a lot of these guys repeated. They won Friday and Saturday night, 2-night weekend. Dylan Nussbaum picked up the win in the modifieds on Friday and Saturday. Riley Hayter picked up the win in the Dirt Track Truck Series on Friday and Saturday. Dalton Smith picked up the win in the Super Stocks on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
You're getting a trend here. Jeff Matheny picked up the win in the Street Stocks on Friday night, but it was Tyler Bradley picked up the win Saturday night in the Street Stocks.
I believe that's Glenn Bradley's son.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Did not know that. Oh, no, I'm doing this wrong. I'm sorry. Dalton Smith won the Hornets. My bad. And Smith also won the Hornets on Saturday. It was Jeff Matheny who won the Super Stocks on Friday, and Bill Lewis won the Super Stocks on Saturday. Travis Nichols was the Street Stock winner on Friday. Tyler Bradley was a Street Stock winner on Saturday. I had my names all mixed up. I was like, sometimes the class was first, sometimes the name was first. Yeah. Guy that did the prep really sucks. And then they also had the micro sprints there on Saturday, and Mike Landis picked up the win there. That was pretty cool.
Pretty good race.
Not too bad. Most of the racing was pretty good, really.
I thought the sprints on that track would look good.
Micro sprints.
Well, yeah.
They did look good. The track was scary fast, too. So that was pretty cool. The track, Big D's supplied the pizza for Vintage American Race Cars Party last weekend. Apparently, they had their season-ending party or awards banquet, whatever. We went to that one year. Gene doesn't invite us now that they have D. They didn't have Big D's there the one time we went.
Right.
And I don't think he's invited us to be back now that they've been doing Big D's for that.
That's sad, Scott.
It is. We need to do something about that.
We would do darn near anything for Big D's Pizza.
World of Outlaw, NOS Energy Drink Sprints, and the late models, both in action last night. A couple of passes within the last 2 laps of the features determined the winner. Logan Schuhart picking up the win in the sprints, and Mike Marlar. I believe it was his first ever World Finals.
Really?
Feature win. Yeah. It was pretty good racing there.
Didn't get to watch, but I heard that it was good racing. Yeah. Thinking of watching some tonight if we get done at a reasonable time.
All right, I'm sure we will. NASCAR had some interesting action this weekend. Ty Gibbs.
Some guys didn't play nice.
Yeah, there was both races, Saturday and Sunday, provided some excitement for different reasons. Ty Gibbs picked up the win on the Dead On Tools 250 at Martinsville on Saturday. He ended up bumping his teammate. Not a bump and run, but a bump and wreck. Stuffed him into the wall in the final lap to pick up the win, and his teammate was not so happy about it. Also, knocked him. If he would have finished second or not wrecked his teammate, they both would have been in the championship 4. Now, Gibbs only has Ty. Gibbs Racing only has Ty in the championship 4.
I wonder how Grandpa feels about that.
Yeah, well, we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the news, because Ty Gibbs kind of changed his tune from how he was feeling after the race to today, I guess, was press day at Phoenix, where I'm sure he's been coached a little bit, but we'll talk about that because that was fun. In the championship 4 for the Xfinity Series is Ty Gibbs, Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry, and Noah Gragson. Noah Gragson, I saw some comments from him today where, yeah, I don't like the guy. I don't like Ty Gibbs. That's pretty much what he said. It's like, I'll say it. Nobody else is saying it, but I'll say it. So, Like, okay. So we know where Noah stands.
Could be an interesting race.
It could be. Cup action on Sunday. Nothing too spectacular happening there. Christopher Bell had to win to make it into the Championship 4.
And he did.
And he did. That was the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville. And then Ross Chastain was a couple spots out of making it into the Championship 4. Had to pick up 2 positions on the final lap, and he did. And he picked up 5.
And he was back quite a ways, so it was...
From those 2 positions,
it was really unlikely that he was going to pass a couple of cars. Crew chief was coaching him along, but...
So he pulled the video game move that I'm sure everybody has seen by now.
Yep.
And just floored it going into turn number 3, put it up against the wall, let go of the steering wheel, floored it, and drove past 5 cars and right past Denny Hamlin.
You know,
did you see Denny Hamlin's look after the race?
I did.
He was just standing there like,
I can't believe what just happened.
Knocked Denny Hamlin out.
We
Fans
were
went
good.
crazy.
We were good.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, and here's some of the radio chatter from some of the different teams.
If you haven't listened to this, folks, it's really good. Pay attention.
Yeah. Here.
Ross Rob, the fence outside of you, outside. Holy cow.
So that's Joey
It does
Logano.
work. Holy, did you see that? Oh my God. Oh my God, coming to the checkered flag. I can't believe what
Chase
I just
Briscoe's
saw.
team.
Yep.
That's literally the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. That was straight video game. That was incredible. Watch one ripping the outside wall of the fence.
Bubba Wallace.
Holy shit. Unbelievable. Wow. I'm pretty sure he got in with that. That's the damnedest thing I've ever seen to one time. What's the one doing?
Eric Jones'
He
team.
was trying to play, hold it wide open and go. He did it. That is insane. Did he pass people doing that? Yeah, he got in the final 4 doing that. Holy Come in checker, gap of 1. Cover your bottom
Elliott's
up off.
team.
What in the hell? Or, good job. He put it on the fence and went wide open there. I don't know if he beat he did. He beat the freaking BT11. What's the one outside over here? Outside. I guess we just lost on that. Well, I've never seen anything like it, but Bell wins, he's in, and the one Hail Mary defense in 3 and 4 and got it. Wow. Did all I could do, Chris. 2 spots here.
And here's Chastain
get him?
radio.
Yeah, I gotta get him. Need 2. Keep coming. Hang on, man. Checkered flag. Nice and easy. Keep it up against the fence there. Talk to me, boys. You made the transfer! You made the transfer, man! That was f***ing ridiculous, dude! That was wild, man. That was wild. Holy cow. Oh, my God! I don't know how long you've been sitting on that move, but that was f***ing incredible. Dude.
That was his car owner.
Badass. Good job, guys.
So his team apparently approves of all that.
At least once.
Yeah, and there's a lot of mixed feelings, I guess, about the move among some of the other drivers after the race. We did a Twitter poll and kind of tested the temperature, I guess, as to how some of our listeners felt about that. And I'm not going to bring it up, but I will tell you that it 87% versus 13%. 87% were in favor of that move.
Now, that poll was, do you approve of it? And it was truly spectacular.
Now, the next question is NASCAR going to make a rule to outlaw it?
And do you think NASCAR should? Or should they put an end to this right now?
As of right now, they are not going to.
Right.
Did they deem that he did nothing against the rules?
Right.
And they're not going to put any new rules in place before Phoenix, but it
Right.
could be something that may be revisited during the off season.
We want to know what our listeners think.
Yeah, so we'll put up another Twitter poll.
Yep.
See if they think that NASCAR should create a rule there. We had Gabe in the green room there, and he popped away. And there, look, he's coming back. Todd should be joining us. Might have to reach out to him. Should we bring Gabe in while we?
Well, sure.
Well, I think he's still connecting. He's looking a little white there.
Gabe's a little pale.
A little bit. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can hear him. Hey, Gabe, are you there?
I think he's still connecting.
Mr. Mueller? Mueller?
Oh, Gabe, put your headphones on.
All right, we'll come back to Gabe there, the Limaland champion, here in just a second. We'll let you know that the Championship 4 in the Cup Series will be Christopher Bell, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, who had that his team was my favorite reaction with the what in the hell?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the best one. And, of course, Ross Chastain. Those are your 4 championship contenders. Keep that in mind because how many and your chance to win a Big D's pizza could have something to do with that.
And if there are some vendettas, could they play out this weekend?
They could. I think Gabe is struggling to find service at the dealership. He's having some issues here. I have to have him call in.
He's out in nowhere land.
Oh, that's true. I forgot. Don't they have decent internet though? Yeah. Talk about Ron Miller race cars for a second.
Well, Ron Miller Race Cars is taking orders for Fremont trucks, super stocks, pretty much anything you want, and we can handle it. It's a good time of the year to make those
gift
plans.
certificates. Did you get gift certificates for Christmas
and for Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving gift certificates?
Well, absolutely.
Reaching out to Todd here to make sure he's going to be coming here. Let's. Hey, is this Gabe? Hello,
Hello,
Gabe.
this is Gabe.
Hey,
Hey, Scott.
Yeah, it's me,
not,
me and Ron.
It's not somebody selling an auto warranty.
No, not this late at night.
Oh, that's disappointing. Yeah. So
Technically, I snuck away from doing that to do this.
so we're costing you money. We're costing you commissions, aren't we?
No, that's okay. It's nice to sneak away sometimes.
Well, I know Todd was busy today because they just bought a restaurant out there in Indiana. He's from Cherubusco, however you pronounce that. There's a new restaurant they purchased, I think, in September, and today was their grand opening.
Ooh,
so
nice.
Yeah,
they could be really busy.
Yeah, definitely exciting times.
I don't have his number. I was just communicating with him on Facebook, so hopefully he gets my message there and joins us soon. Anyways.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Gabe.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys a lot. It's been a fun season.
So, your first championship at Limaland and your first year running there, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's 1 for 1. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like those odds.
Did it take any pressure off of you knowing that you had a backup car that was really good all year if you needed it?
Yes and no. It would need a little bit of work to get converted over to Limaland. So it really wasn't ready as a backup car for the majority of the season. But it helped. Honestly, it helped driving Jamie's car. It gave me a lot of confidence. Hold on, just 1 second, guys. Sorry.
Sure.
All right, sorry about that.
Give me like 30 seconds. I'm sorry, guys.
You take.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to earn a living there.
What the heck?
I know, it's crazy
The
stuff.
guy's got to have his priorities, Scott.
That's okay. It gives me a chance to try and get a hold of Todd here. There. Todd may be calling in here in just a bit. So, anyway.
He's going to miss out on his bonus money by not giving us a call.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
I thought that was
Okay, I'm back.
championship
Sorry.
stuff. What, you working or something? What the hell?
Yeah, I am. Well, I went to a couple different offices to try to find service to log into the Zoom, and then once I went into the service department, it started getting a little busy in there, so I had to go to the secluded office.
Gotcha. What do you need a job for? I mean, you're like a champion two years in a row. I mean, doesn't that support your lifestyle?
Man, in a perfect world, it should.
Multi-time feature
cool.
winner.
So the 2000,
Oh my God.
you're the 2001 Super Stock champion at Oakshade Raceway.
2001?
2021.
Okay.
I was 20 years
That's
off.
a while.
Hey, you would have been a little young there for 2001, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd have been like 9 or so, give or take.
Well, that was an impressive feat then. Let me just
Depending
say.
on my math.
So, I mean, you got that, and you follow that up this year with the Limaland Championship. What championship are you shooting for next? I mean, I have an idea, but
I think you're on the right track. We really want to get that Eldora Championship.
okay.
I'm very satisfied with what we have achieved so far, and so even if it doesn't happen, I feel satisfied. But that's a huge goal that we would love to achieve.
Where did you end up in points at Eldora this year?
We ended up second.
Tell us about your season there. I know it was exciting from your standpoint.
Yeah, it was. I just wanted to make sure that I gave it, my real efforts, and just wanted to attack it full head of steam. And so, as soon as I got on the track for that first qualifying session, had no clue what to expect, but learned very fast that it's just a fast track and it can support a lot of momentum and a lot of speed into the turn, middle of the turn, exit of the turn, and of course down the straightaways. And I'm like, oh man, and such a wide track. I thought that there's so much room. I was excited to be on that track and to learn it. I wanted to learn the fastest way around the track as quick as possible. And it just clicked for the most part. We'd have loved to got a win there, but Terry Rushlow won there last year in Jamie's car.
In a Ford. That Ford is stout, I will tell you that.
So, I mean, how different is the car from what you were running at Oakshade last year?
So, well, really, I've noticed the biggest difference is now that we put back, the solid pole bar on Jamie's car to run Oakshade and then Fremont. I have noticed quite a bit difference now between having that bar and then a couple other adjustments as well. And then the tire difference too. Definitely impacts the way the car gets grip and the way it travels around the track. And I've felt the difference now, and I can kind of, diagnose the difference between how some different setups can affect the car and how I drive the car. But ultimately, Dane's car's hooked up and it's set up on the money.
Okay. So how does the competition differ among the stock car classes at Oakshade, Limaland, and Eldora?
Well, so I've heard a lot growing up. People were telling me stories about their racing experience where they're, I was to the floorboard. I'm flat-footed around there.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, no way. You're blowing smoke. Da da da. And so, because I personally at Oakshade, I've not been full throttle in all the years I've raced there. I never really got to the floorboard, especially when I got a little bit bigger a motor. And so, going to Limaland and Eldora, you're on the floorboard a significant amount of time. But really, what taught me that when now I realize, like, when people are like, I was to the floorboard, I get it, because there was a dash for cash at Eldora we did, and I started, I think, third or fourth. And as soon as the green flag dropped, the throttle went to the floorboard, and it literally didn't lift until the checkered flag waved. And I was like, wow, this is intense. You just are never lifting off the throttle at Eldora. And I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome.
Time to tell the car owner you need more motor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's working. He's got something in the works here.
So the Ross Chastain move wouldn't have really benefited you, since you were already all the way down to the floor.
Man, that was a wild move. I was just watching the recap on that earlier. That was pretty interesting. But no, yeah, I don't know. I'd be interested to find out if that's something that'd ever be possible. Sorry, Jamie, about your car.
Yeah, I was going to say, how would Jamie feel about that?
We just have a long, expensive week. That's for sure.
So,
no, it wouldn't.
Couple sheets of aluminum. What's the deal?
Did you?
Yeah, maybe a tire or a rim.
Did you get to run any other tracks this summer?
We did Oakshade, Lima, Eldora, and Fremont.
Okay.
So last year we did I-96 and Gas City and then Montpelier, but we didn't do those this year.
Any reason you didn't get to Montpelier or I-96? Well, I mean, other than I-96 kind of shutting down halfway through the year.
Yeah, that's the reason for that for the most part. But then, for Montpelier, we just had a lot on our plates. Putting 2 cars together, and it gets expensive and time consuming. We're all busy, super busy those past couple weeks. And plus, we really wanted to dial in Jamie's car to make sure that it doesn't have any, outstanding issues. There was a couple concerns after Fremont that were brought to our attention that we just felt more comfortable calling it a season at this point. We felt really good about our season.
What'd you think about that dirt truck versus the Oakshade Super Stocks at Fremont?
That was fun. I didn't know what to expect going into it, and I tell you what, I am certainly impressed with the trucks because they're definitely fast and were great, fun competition. And I learned a lot too. So every time I race, at this point, I'm trying to learn as much as I can about attacking corners, throttle control, trail braking, you name it. I'm just trying to learn as much as I can so I can take what I learned from each track and each different set of competitors and just apply it as much as I can to other tracks and against other competitors.
So if that race happens next year, you'd throw your hat in to be there?
Oh yeah, we'll be back. We'll bring both the cars.
All right.
I meant to mention when I was talking about, being full throttle and things like that. So when you asked about the competition at like Limaland and Eldora, the reason why I mentioned that is because like if you give these guys an inch, they take it. And so you're forced to race very fast, and there's so little room for error at Eldora. If you make a mistake, you're most likely passed. Or even Limaland, it's just very fun. I love how wide the tracks are too. They're very, very forgiving for making mistakes.
Did you make a lot of mistakes?
Oh yeah, I feel like every lap you make at least a little bit of a mistake.
Let's go back to that truck race. If another track ran that same event, you think it would work as well as what they did at Fremont?
Oh yeah, I think it would be cool if Oakshade ran that event because I'm sure we'd be there. And
I think that's what Ron was trying to get you to say.
Oh yeah, it'd be interesting to have the trucks come and compete, against the super stocks, on our turf, and just to shake it up. I don't see any harm in it. Sounds like it'd be a lot of fun, interesting event.
And that could really work. That could really work because Gabe, they shut down most of the month of August, or July, whichever, for the fair. So they have a big hole in their schedule.
Oh yeah, I think we need to fill that hole.
Yeah.
I'll put my name on the roster for that.
We'll get to work on that and see if we can make that happen.
Nice.
So when you won the championship at Oakshade, you were running your own car, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then
but with a lot of help from
but.
Jamie and Terry. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you said there was a but. So you had a lot of help from Jamie and Terry.
Fun, yeah. Ben Leaf too. My buddy John. Just so much help. It's unbelievable what goes into these race cars and teams.
Well, then
and effort.
That's probably going to lead into the answer to this question. John Young wants to know, how did you get with Jamie to run his car for this season?
Well, pretty much what happened was Terry Rushler was racing it, and actually Terry and Jamie built this. And so shout out to those guys for one, because they dialed in the car for Eldora last year. And so really I stepped into it, already dialed in, bugs worked out of car from when Terry raced his. So definitely blessed in that aspect for sure, and not have to go through the woes that they had to go through originally. But basically, Terry was offered a late model ride, and so once he stepped away from Jamie's car, they talked and decided to offer me the ride. And so Jamie called me one day and said he had really good news and explained it to me. And of course, I was ecstatic. I didn't see it coming necessarily, and didn't ever think that this opportunity would ever present itself. But blessings come in all shapes and sizes, and this is certainly one of them. And
awesome.
so, of course, I said yes.
So, of course, you said yeah. So,
and then that's how it happened.
Yeah, with all the different tracks you've raced on over the past few years, what would you say is your favorite at this point?
Oh, it's such a tough one. I don't really know for sure, but I like Oakshade, Lima, and Eldora are my top three. I really enjoyed I-96 though too.
You just like to go fast in circles. I don't care where.
Yeah, I don't really care where. I just I enjoy every time. It's so different at each track. That's what a lot of people told me, that I would learn a lot. And my goodness, racing with so many different types of drivers, different styles of drivers, different, experienced types of drivers, it's exciting, and different tracks. Because what's cool is, even at Limaland, I noticed throughout the season that every week the track conditions were different. It would be hammer down, muddy, maybe a little rough one night. The next night it could be bone dry, slick, black slick from the bottom to the top. And you have to adapt, and you have to get your setup right. So it really puts the team perspective the team effort into perspective, that if the car is not set up correctly, the driver can only do so much. And if the car is set up correctly, the driver has to do so much, because it's not super often you have an on-the-money race car that you can definitely win with. And so it's just definitely a team effort when the track conditions change so much from week to week.
So
and even during the week, during the night, I noticed that they re-prep it, and it's like different. And like, holy crap.
You got to make more changes.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of learning, but it's exciting. I truly do love that aspect. A little bit different track every week is exciting for me.
So what's the plans for next year? Other than trying to get that championship at Eldora, kind of the same thing you did this year?
Well, most likely, for sure, we're going to do the Eldora. We're going to chase the Eldora championship. We're going to convert my car also. Well, my car is kind of ready for Eldora, but we're going to finish it up to make it Eldora ready too, so we can get both cars out there. I don't know that our schedules and just the time will allow 2 championship chases again. And truthfully, I'm not one to have super desires for multiple championships at the same track type of thing, because honestly, sometimes racing for points is super stressful, and it can take the fun out of it, which, we've had a couple times this year where we got down in the dumps, and it sucks being down in the dumps sometimes when you're racing for points, because like I said, it can take the fun out. So I definitely know we're for sure going to do Eldora, but we're still up in the air about maybe running a Limaland championship, or just kind of put a schedule together of a few different tracks inconsistently.
Steve Schloes mentioned that Don Radebaugh helped your career a bit. Yeah,
my goodness. Yeah, I met Don at Eldora for opening night, and he offered to follow us and shadow us for the night and just kind of record the debut. And that was another huge blessing. I tell you, racing is full of blessings and a lot of life experiences, and you meet a lot of cool people, and he was one of them.
He is indeed.
Yeah. Awesome guy. Awesome dude.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to let you go, get back to work there. Congratulations again on the championship.
Thank you, guys.
And Todd's been trying to call in now, so we're gonna
we're
gonna move over to Todd. We were gonna have you both on at the same time, but apparently both of you guys are having some connection issues. So, and I haven't figured out the 3-way calling on my phone just yet, and I didn't want to hang up on you. So.
No problem. Well, it's always a pleasure to be on. I appreciate the invite, guys.
Yeah, no problem. And I'm sure we'll probably have you on at some point. Do something big next year. Win at Eldora. We'll get you back on next year.
Okay.
No pressure.
All right. You got a deal.
All right.
Thanks, Gabe.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you later.
Yep. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
There you go. It's
Gabe Mueller.
Gabe Mueller, the Thunderstock champion there at Limaland. And now let's give a ring to Todd Sherman, who is having some connection issues.
Hello.
Hi, is this Todd?
This is Todd.
Hey, Todd, it's Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, Hammer Down Racing Report. You're on the air.
Cool.
Finally, huh?
Yeah.
Well, from what I gather, today is a pretty busy day for you. You bought a restaurant, and today was the grand opening?
It was actually yesterday, but it went really, really well. So it's me and my wife, and my son and his wife went together on it. It's just up the road. We ate there every day, and the owner passed away unexpectedly, and we just figured it would be, maybe a good investment. And I'm getting old enough, I might have to quit racing one of these days. So I'll just run a restaurant.
Your fans don't want to hear that.
So besides being a racer, now you're a chef?
No, I'm not cooking. I'm just owning.
Okay.
You're not going to
It actually came with a staff of people. The people there were really wanting us to buy it because, it's their livelihood too. So got a pretty good crew of people. So
the Half Acre Cafe, correct?
The Half Acre Cafe between my shop in Albion on Highway 9, right at the entrance to the Chain Lake State Park, like a half a mile.
So in today's economy, having a crew ready to jump in and run your business, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. And they had some good people. And we hired, a couple other people, too, to help us out. And we stumbled onto a couple people through Facebook that were really close that are going to be a big help to us, too. So
congratulations on that.
You're not going to turn it in or change it to like a racing-themed restaurant, are you?
No, that's what everybody thought. And there's some old tractors out front as decoration. They're like, "Are you going to put race cars out in front of there?" I was like, "No, we're leaving it just the way it was. It worked fine just the way it was." So
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
I don't know. I've got an old DeSoto race car in my front yard that my wife would probably like seeing in your front yard.
There you go. That'd be cool too.
There you go.
So
she says, "Come get it."
Oh. You might have to dig it out a little. It's been sitting in his yard for quite a while.
Blow up the tires. We're good.
Oh, okay.
So these tractors too, they've been sitting there a while.
So are you going to have time to continue doing the racing thing, owning a restaurant, and you got Sherman Enterprises there as well?
Yeah, I'm not planning on slowing down on the racing, and we had 3 guys at the shop today, and we got a car almost ready to come off the jig. We got one at the powder coater, and we delivered one last week. So the racing deal's going really good. We had a good season, a lot of interest in people buying cars. So every time I get nervous that the economy's slowing down, there's people still spending money. So
are you done racing then for this season? I don't think there's any.
We actually got an invite to the Gateway Dirt Nationals in St. Louis. So we're going to be going there on December the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
That's all. Have you run that before?
I have not. And, we've tried to get an invite and never did. And then I made up my mind, I'm done trying to get an invite. And then I was in the 2nd round pick, and I'm like, man, I didn't want to go. But then it's kind of a once in a lifetime deal probably for me. So I'm going to give her a whirl. I'm going to take my Lima car. I haven't ran it since the points got over at Lima. So I'm going to.
So how many different cars do you have?
I got 2. I got one that I just saved just for Lima.
Okay.
And it saves on maintenance and wear and tear. And, their point deal's so good there that, you get running all over the place with the same car, and motors get tired and stuff get tired. So I just dedicate one car to Limaland. So
what you ran at Montpelier was not the Limaland car?
Correct. We got another car that we run. The Limaland car has a CT525, which is basically a stock Corvette engine, out of a new Corvette.
It's an LS series engine, correct?
Exactly. It's I don't know if they call it the LS6 or what, but basically they just have to put an intake on it. We can't run fuel injection, and they got a RPM limit on it. But it seems to be perfect for Limaland. Just the right amount of horsepower, and it's a pretty light motor too. It's 100 pounds lighter than a standard small block Chevy.
So this is your 9th Limaland championship. How does this compare to winning that very first one? Is it still special?
It is, and it's like I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and there's a lot of young kids, that have some backing behind them and stuff, and it's tough to win races, no matter what. So I guess at my age, I'm glad to be able to still get it done.
How many track championships do you have overall?
I never really kept exact track, but it's probably around 25.
I wish I had that problem. I'm not sure. That's pretty awesome.
We've got some on the asphalt, and then 2003 was my first full season on the dirt, and then I ran maybe 1 or 2 asphalt races. And I do own an asphalt car too, and we had Tyler Rohrig drive it for us last fall at the blowout at New Paris, and he won by over a half a track with it. So we got a pretty good asphalt program too.
Man, you got the dirt and the asphalt covered.
That's an outlaw style late model?
No, it's a modified.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's a modified.
Okay.
I saw the picture. I wasn't sure. I was like, is he running asphalt too? Okay. That makes sense then. Is that car going to be running next year then, the asphalt car? You going to have someone in
I don't think it is. It got to be too much to try to maintain, that many cars. And we let some guys run it this summer, and they ran pretty good with it, but they brought it back, took their motor out and stuff. They supplied the motor, and I supplied the car, and they paid the expenses, and we just tried to help them out. But it's just too much for me to try to, do all that.
So you are the all-time win leader at Limaland, but only by a slim margin. Jerry was telling me that you and Tony Anderson have kind of been trading that claim back and forth. But right now you have that slight advantage. Is that something you pay attention to at all?
Not really. I know that I was the all-time winningest modified driver, but Tony, he's ran two classes for quite some time, so I think he was the all-time overall, and I thought he still was, but maybe I took it back. But we just built a brand new stock car. Me and a buddy of mine, Mark Matson, he ordered one from us, and we got the frame back and stuff. So I'll probably be running more stock car stuff next year at Lima. Really?
Gabe's not. We just had Gabe on, who was the Thunderstock champion. I'm guessing he's probably not going to be happy to hear that.
Or
he's a good competitor, so yeah, he'll. If you want to be a champion, you got to beat champions. So
there you go.
That's the way I always look at it. So he can get her done again.
So are there any championships you haven't won that are kind of on your bucket list? Something you'd like to check off that list before you hang up the helmet?
It's a long shot, but we got up to second in the national UMP points, this summer, and then it just kind of, it gets down to the end, and you get where you got to get first or second place, to advance, more points. And it gets really tough when you're trying to run a business and you're not a full-time racer, and you can't, run as many races as what some of the other guys do. But for a while there, we thought we had a shot at it, but it just didn't work out.
Gotcha. So that the short schedule or short season, I should say, at Limaland kind of is beneficial for your schedule.
Well, the problem is I run really good at Lima. We run really good at Gas City. And Lima runs such a short season. If they added, if they started earlier and ran later, and I could get 10 more races in there, because
that help you for the national championship.
Yes, that would definitely help me, because that's one of the tracks that I really excel at, and I think it's kind of my driving style. The turns are farther apart, and I can stay on the gas more there. It seems like the paperclip tracks I'm not quite as good at, where you got to really slow down in the corners.
So I was told that there was an incident, I think it was this year at Montpelier, where Santa had to hold you back.
Yeah, and I didn't even know it till I was on my way home. I was like, somebody sent me a picture and said, well, you might be on the naughty list, but I'll still buy you presents. I'm like, what are they talking about? And then they sent me a picture, and Santa had a hold of me, pulling me out of a guy's
car. Want to tell us what happened there?
Well, it's just a guy we race against that causes a lot of problems and wrecks a lot of cars. He hit me from behind, and then he turned the wheel to the left, and it turned my car like halfway down the straightaway, headlong into the wall. And it's like it's a common problem with him. So I just had it. I mean, I'd had enough watching him wreck other cars and wreck me, and so I got out and threw my steering wheel at him, which I shouldn't have done. And it is what it is. Sometimes racing doesn't bring out the best.
A NASCAR driver got a week off for doing what he did to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Tony Stewart got mad and threw his helmet several times and never got barred. And, so I got barred for 3 weeks. They had a conference call between me, him, and the promoter, and, he wasn't admitting any wrongdoing at all. It was my fault. So I just said, you do whatever you got to do to me, and I hung up on him. So he had sent me he called my son and just said, hey, just send a formal protest that you don't agree with what I did, and we'll just let you come right back. And I thought, nah, not doing it. I just went to Butler, and then I think I won like 5 features in a row up there. So it actually helped me out. They paid a little bit more, and it's a little bit closer to home. So, and they got a new promoter there, Tim Wilbur, and he's doing a really good job.
Yeah, we've talked to him a couple times.
Yeah, they got some sponsors, and he's a racer, so he gets it.
I think the funny part about that story, though, is just the fact that Santa Claus was the one to restrain you, and you didn't even realize it was Santa Claus at the time.
No, I somebody grabbed me and pulled me back, but I didn't realize who it was until we were on the way home. And then I'm like, oh no, now I'm on the naughty list. Great.
That's great.
How was the track up at Butler this year? I know past years there were some complaints.
It's I quit going up there because it seemed like it was topside dominant and one groove, and there wasn't a lot of passing. And if you got on the front row, you could win. And this year, at one race, I don't even remember what happened, but I had to start 17th, and I won from 17th. I was running inside, outside, and it was just like unbelievable because normally it's just not that way. And but I could come right off on the bottom and get cars, down the straightaway. So it was way, way, way better, like unbelievably better.
So what do you have planned for next year? You're gonna maybe get to Butler a few more times?
I haven't quite decided, but when you're looking at a national championship and that's another track that I excel at, we won a bunch of races in the 90s up there, and it's definitely something that I'm going to consider. I like Montpelier, and I've considered that my home track, and I have 74 A main wins there, and I wanted to get to 75 this year. That was my goal, was to get one more win there, and then that didn't happen, and I wanted to get my 50th one in at Limaland, and I did get that in, so that was cool. So, but now I think I'm up to almost 57, 8. I don't even know. I don't keep track, but now I'm going to have to make it to 75 at Limaland. So,
so is the national championship, is that kind of your focus for next year then? And not any particular track championships?
Probably. I mean, Lima, we always go for that just because Lima does such a good job of, rewarding champions. With the NASCAR, it's NASCAR sanctioned, so we get, like a free helmet and the driving suit, and there's other, they get money from NASCAR, so it's kind of a good deal for the racers.
Speaking of NASCAR, what'd you think of Ross Chastain's move at the end of the Martinsville race?
Well, my son's like, you gotta watch this, and he showed it to me, and I said, I don't care about no video games. And he goes, that ain't a video game, that's real life. I'm like, that's a video game. I said, somebody's pranking you, and it's like, I looked at it again, I'm like, what the heck did I just see?
I think that's what everybody's reaction was.
Well, it just reminds me of when we were kids, we had the slot cars, and the outside rail had a wall on it. When you're on the outside, you could run wide open through the corner because that rail held you in. And it's like, I guess I never expected anybody to be able to do that in a stock car, I guess.
Earlier in the show, we did an audio clip of some of the crew chiefs and drivers' response to it in real time. If you get a chance, you need to dig up our show and listen to it early on. You don't have to watch the whole show, but it was really entertaining.
Or at least find that video clip. You can find it. It's my favorite still is, what in the hell?
What was that?
Well, I mean, it creates some drama and a buzz, and I think it helps racing, but I think they'll probably put a rule to it that you're not allowed to ride the rail. If he hooked wrong, he could have got up on the wall and went into the grandstand.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm assuming that's something you've never contemplated in the modified, because I don't think that would work real well.
No, I'm a kind of a devout coward. If you watch me race, I don't get close to the wall very often unless I have to.
That makes sense.
So I like to run the conservative line. Guys like Tony Anderson and myself, if you really watch and racing, we both drive pretty conservative because you're not going to win as many championships as Tony and I have if you're in the infield or you're in the pits. You got to keep your car under control and stay out of wrecks. And the start of the race is where most bad things really happen. So I try to be really cautious, the first 4 or 5 laps. And then if I'm going to throw all caution to the wind, I'll do like Chastain did. I mean, he could have done that halfway through the race. It was a Hail Mary on the last lap. And if you're going to do one, that's when you got to do it.
That's when the time's right. Yep.
I was surprised. The new car held up much better than I thought it would, with the composite body and everything. I really thought that he was going to have used up that right side, but it didn't look too bad.
Well, I got a couple of years ago when we won the championship at Limaland, we got to go to Charlotte for the banquet, and a friend of ours is a crew chief at Tony Stewart Racing. We got to see those cars before they race them. He took us in the back room, and there's a lot of bracing, like on the bumpers, and they're pretty strong cars, which they're talking about the concussions and stuff now because they're too strong. So apparently the fenders and stuff like that are pretty strong, or otherwise they could take a pounding like that.
Well, and like me, you've been around quite a while, and back in the day, you could run head on into the wall and change a tire, and the car was fine, but the driver was hurt. So somewhere they've got to find the middle ground with the new cars.
Yeah, I got a really good friend. His name's Moose Myers, and he won over 500 A mains, and he lives real close to here, And he said back in the day, there was cars that weighed 5,000 pounds, and he said we came out with a car that weighed 2,700 pounds, and he said I could pass every car in 2 or 3 laps. He goes, the problem was if one of them hit you, your car was junk because they weighed 5,000 pounds.
Yeah. Moose Myers and his fold-away doors.
Yep.
Nice.
We just had him up to our restaurant the other night. We had our kind of a soft opening to train our cooks and stuff that were new, and he came up, and it's awesome to listen to his stories. It's unbelievable. He dominated for probably 20 years during his career.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want to go to this restaurant. I wish you didn't live so far away. I mean, we're in the Toledo area, so that's a little bit of a hike to get there.
Well, another friend of ours is his name's Steve Adams, but he owns some Frickers restaurants in the Orchard Tree and Van Wert and stuff. And he actually come over to our opening. He's a friend of ours. He invited us to the Frickers one when they had theirs, so he came over and him and his wife had dinner. So it ain't that far. You can make it over here.
Okay. We'll share some racing stories. We got to get going here, but we wish you luck next year on that defending the Limaland Championship, the National Points Championship, and have fun at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. I'm actually kind of jealous.
That's pretty cool because he'll be carrying our mojo along with him. Because
that's true.
Yeah, a lot of our guests go on to win the next race, and
man, that'd be awesome.
If you had to wait until spring, that's kind of tough. But going to Gateway, that's
that's about a month away, isn't it? Right about.
It's gonna be an experience. We got a customer that bought a new car from us. He's ran it a couple times, and Limaland we run a 564 gear, and that at Lion it's a quarter-mile track. And over there, he told me to run a 757 gear.
I was thinking it'd have to be touching almost 8.
It is a little track.
Yeah. He said put a 757 in it because if you don't, it's going to be bogging off the corners because it's a small track.
Well, we'll definitely be. Go ahead.
I've been studying some of the videos on YouTube, kind of watching where the guys were running and the shape of the track and stuff like that. So we're got a little bit of an idea, I guess.
Well, I think if you stay away from the walls like you seem to like to do, you should be all right.
I should be all right.
Well, we'll certainly be watching for that.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, it's good talking to you.
Yep, definitely good talking to you. I'll reach out to Santa Claus, see if I can get you back on the good list before Christmas comes up.
Try to do that, would you?
All right.
Thanks so much, Todd.
All right. Take care.
Yep. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. Here you go. This is Todd Sherman, the modified champion this year at Limaland. Very cool guy. He's got a lot going on. The restaurant. He's got a shop. Sherman Enterprises. He's got the asphalt program that sounds like that's going to be put on hold at least for next year, and a lot going on there.
That car will be sitting in the corner just in case he gets a bug to do it.
There you go. I got to thank Oakshade Raceway, where the fastest meet to race. The awards banquet's coming up on Saturday, December 3rd in the Junior Fair building at the Fulton County Fairgrounds. Cost is $30 a ticket. Info on how to get a ticket is posted at oakshaderaceway.com. No tickets will be sold at the door or after November 25th, and the driver must be present to receive their awards. So check out oakshaderaceway.com for information on how you can get your tickets. And Ryan Miller Race Cars, give him a call right now. He's this is the least busy season for him.
Boy,
if there is a least season,
summer's
least
not
busy,
too bad as long as the guys play nice, Scott.
as long as they don't break all their cars.
Yeah. During the winter, we start getting stacked up building cars, so at least it's organized chaos.
Give them a call now, 734-856-7223. That's 856
race.
There you go. Or if you just need parts, safety equipment, service, whatever, he's got it. And I know you were working on an Oakshade Hall of Fame. You've been talking about that for quite a while. Is that actually got any traction? Is that happening?
I haven't pushed it lately, but I think we need to work on that, Scott.
All right. Well, you got about a month before the banquet. Maybe you can make an announcement at the banquet.
Ooh, yeah.
No pressure. A little bit of racing news.
It would have to be in conjunction with the folks at Oakshade.
Well, of course. A little bit of racing news to cover here before we get to how many and a chance to win a Big D's Pizza. Joey Logano was impressed by Chastain's wall riding, as you saw by the driver team communication radio there. He was impressed by that move they got him in the championship for, but warns that the box has been opened in all NASCAR classes with the wall riding move as an option, unless NASCAR would step in and make a new rule that would outlaw that. But now that's like in everybody's toolbox now. They have. When do we pull out the wall ride?
I really see that happening.
At the end of races?
No, I see NASCAR.
Oh, you see the rule happening.
Yeah, there's too many bad things that could happen.
It is a little dangerous, yeah. Do you see though anybody this weekend, if the circumstances are right, maybe trying a Hail Mary like that
to win the NASCAR championship? Hell yes.
Okay, there you go. Brad Keselowski. Actually, he was the one. I think he's the one that got bumped by Chastain. He's the one that slowed Chastain down coming to the line there. He crossed the line.
Chastain was just going so fast that he couldn't get woed up in time.
He crossed the line in the fourth position at the end of the race. However, Brad Keselowski was disqualified after failing to meet the minimum weight requirements.
I wish I knew a little more about that. And I did my homework trying to find out how much too light or if something had fallen off the car. They don't make that kind of mistake.
Not usually. Alex Bowman has been medically cleared to return to racing. He will compete on Sunday in the Cup Series finale at Phoenix. And last night, Cole Macedo was running his sprint car there.
Really?
Alex Bowman's sprint car, yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to get a hold of Cole because he's the Attica champion.
Yeah.
And we're going to have that show coming up in a little while. Tony Stewart lost to Madison Payne in the final round of the NHRA Top Alcohol class on Sunday at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. In his drag racing debut, he lost by 2/10,000th of a second.
In the final round?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty amazing.
That's a pretty good debut.
Yeah, it really is.
Apparently, Tony's pretty fast going in a straight line.
Must have a good teacher.
He must, yeah. Tyler Reddick exited Sunday's Cup race early after not feeling well. That was kind of a weird deal. Did you see that? He just kind of, yeah. Reddick was involved in a stack-up on a restart, getting into the back of a car that forced his head forward and then was rear-ended, forcing his head back. He was evaluated at the infield care center, and everything checked out okay. So I guess that's good news there, but better safe than sorry. Yeah. Is it just because he's leaving that team at the end of this year now that it figured it didn't really matter?
Or did he get his bell rung?
Or he could have seriously got his bell rung. Like Todd was saying, and you were saying, these cars are a lot sturdier.
They are.
Jimmy Johnson. Did you hear about this?
Probably not.
He's finalizing a deal to obtain an ownership stake within the Petty GMS organization and is expected to drive in select races.
Really?
Yeah. So we could be seeing Jimmy Johnson back in the Cup Series for some races.
Now, let's see. Petty's running Chevrolets, isn't he? I think
so, as far as I know.
With Johnson's career with Hendrick, I couldn't see him going any other way but with Chevrolet. But that'll be interesting to see.
Absolutely. A celebration of life for Rick Eshelman will be held tomorrow. That's Friday, November 4th at the dirt track at Charlotte at 11:30 a.m. Visit the online obituary posting for Rick Eshelman. All the details on how to stream the service are posted on the Hammer Down Racing Report Facebook page. We got a post there. There's a link to the MillardFamilyChapels.com thing. And that's where there's going to be a tribute wall, and then there's going to be a watch now. You can watch the live webcast video that will start streaming at, whenever they start, but it's not going to be before 11:30. So there you go.
And that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, I plan on checking that out.
Rick was special to a lot of us.
Absolutely. Ty Gibbs, we talked about this a little bit ago, but he compared himself to Jesus after being booed when he won Saturday's Xfinity race at Martinsville after moving, was it Brandon Jones out of the way, putting him stuffed him in the wall to take the lead, which also his teammate, by the way.
I'm pretty sure grandfather wasn't real pleased with that.
Neither was father.
With that comparison.
Oh, with the Jesus thing?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people were impressed by that, but he has kind of come 180, and earlier today he had this to say, quote, "Doing things like that, I think definitely those things are dirty and unacceptable and not right," unquote. So, yeah, I think that somebody, I think they had a little family meeting there saying, you need to say this.
Yeah.
Because he's not making any friends.
That wasn't very articulate, but okay.
Yeah, it is what it is. The inaugural season for the Extreme Outlaw Sprint Car Series presented by Low E Insulation has officially ended with no suitable rescheduled date for the season finale at Devil's Bowl Speedway. Points leader Shane Cockrum and the Amati Racing Team have been deemed the 2022 champions, claiming the inaugural $20,000 title check.
Oh.
And finally, last bit of news here, the Indy Light Series has been renamed
to
Indy Next by Firestone. That's NXT in capital letters. They're kind of copying off of the wrestling thing, NXT. Indy NXT or Next by Firestone.
Well, okay.
There you go. Same series, different name. How many? Last week's how many was how many total competitors would be in action at Montpelier Motor Speedway on Saturday for the finale of the Monster Mash.
Right.
And that actual number was 133. They had more on Friday than they did on Saturday. I think they tore up a few cars on Friday night. So Saturday, 133. I guessed 139. You had 142. Booyah. Ow. But I think had you done Fridays, I think Fridays was like 144 or something, so you would have been closer.
Well, and I knew there were a couple more cars that could only go on Saturday, so
Oh yeah, that's true. There were a few that were only there on Saturday. So
I figured Saturday's car count would be pretty good. Oh well.
We're going to among our listener guesses, we kind of had a tie here.
A tie?
Sort of. One guessed 5 too high and one guessed 5 too low, but they were the closest. Brian Nelson guessed 128. Joshua Schoenauer guessed 138. So
let me guess, we're going to spin the Big D's Pizza Wheel.
We are indeed going to spin the Big D's Pizza Wheel. So we're going to bring it up here on the screen. We'll make us here, and we're going to make Todd Sherman not be on the phone anymore because he's not. And then we're going to go here, and we're going to spin the wheel to find out who's going to win that Big D's Pizza. I'm going to say it's going to be Brian Nelson.
I'm thinking.
So, Brian Nelson, congratulations. You got the Big D's Pizza. You have 30 days to claim that pizza. Get with me, Dean, Henry, or contact Big D's, and you get a free pizza. Yeah, Big D's and Clyde. So, congratulations. It's been a while since I've been there. I'm really in the mood for a Big D's Pizza now for all this talk. You want a chance to win a Big D's Pizza? you have it next week. Actually, this week's Big D's pizza thing, for how many? I'm not articulate tonight, is going to be, what position will the Cup champion finish in? Because you got the 4 championship contenders, and whoever finishes ahead of the other is going to be the champion. So they don't necessarily have to win the Cup championship. It's just they have to finish ahead of everyone else. So who is that top finisher of those 4 drivers? Where's he going to end up?
Boy, we're going to have a lot of ties on this one. I see the pizza wheel's going to be busy next week.
Because a lot of times the winner of the final race, at least in the history at Homestead, when the finale was there, the winner a lot of times was one of those championship 4. So finishing position. So here's a hint. Don't guess 39 or higher, because you're probably going to lose. Actually, probably 35 or 6. Yeah. How many they got? 39 that start?
36?
30. Okay, 36 start, and there's 4 drivers, so then it'd be 32nd would be the very worst. So anyway.
You're a math whiz tonight,
I know, it's
Scott.
Crazy. I can't talk, but I can do math.
You're impressive tonight. Wow.
So apparently I have to guess first, and first seems to be a pretty good indication so far in early returns. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to win. I'm going with second. I'm going with a 2.
And I'm going to 3.
You're going to 3.
I'm going to 3.
Wow.
I don't think there's a lot of guys that are hungry for a win this year, Scott, that haven't won yet. They're not in the chase. I see this being a real dogfight for the win.
So the top 2 finishers are going to not be Cup championship contenders.
I don't see racers moving over to let the contenders have at it. I see this as being a real race, a dogfight for the win. You pick 2. I got to go 1 behind you.
Okay, that sounds fair. If you want a chance to win a Big D's Pizza, go ahead and put your guess in the comments of our Facebook Live video or the YouTube Live video. If you're listening to us on the podcast on StreamYard, that'd be the video thing. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever. As long as it's before Sunday, I think the race starts at 3. Sunday at 3, and it's you get an extra hour this weekend because it's daylight savings time starts on Sunday.
Yeah.
So 3 o'clock.
But you lose an hour of sleep.
No, you gain it.
No, that's right. You gain it.
Because at 2 o'clock we're going back to 1 o'clock. So we get an extra hour. Yeah. I'm happy about that.
Ooh.
This is my favorite time change.
But it's going to get dark about 4:30.
That's true, yeah. So about time to come inside and watch the race about 3 o'clock because it's going to get dark real soon. So you have until 3 o'clock to get your guess in, is basically what I'm saying. If you're not listening to us live, you can still come back and put your guess in before 3 o'clock on Sunday. Just put, the number of the position you think that the champion, the Cup Series champion will finish in at Phoenix. Yep. And if you are correct, and nobody else guessed the same thing, you got a Big D's Pizza. If other people guess the same thing, we're going to spin the Big D's Pizza wheel and determine that winner. So there you go. This weekend's Big D's Pizza racing menu, nothing happened locally here. We're pretty much done for the season.
Done.
Around here until the hangover race at Sandusky Speedway.
Yeah, you going?
We'll see what the weather looks like. I'm leaning towards yes, but I mean...
Did you see the inside wall that they put up? Did you see?
I saw they were doing so. I missed the broadcast the other day. I meant to check that out, but I haven't had a chance. Because they were talking about stuff for next year. And
Scott, there's a fair amount of dirt between the inside wall and the paved track. I see that being...
Is that fair game?
I see that being pretty interesting for the hangover race.
Is there a rule against using it?
I don't know.
Because if you get down there, that's going to throw dirt up on the asphalt, or are they going to throw a caution?
I sure hope not.
Of course, if there's snow on the track, I guess it really doesn't make a difference.
I don't know why anybody would go down there.
We'll be talking. We'll have a hangover race preview coming up in December, probably our last show before Christmas.
Yeah.
But that'll be coming up. This weekend, you check out more action at the dirt track at Charlotte. The World Finals continue tonight through Saturday. Again, tonight is the... World of Outlaw late models with the big block modifieds. Tomorrow night, Friday night, the sprint cars join the big block modifieds. And then on Saturday, all 3 series will each run a full show and crown their champions. The World of Outlaw late models, World of Outlaw sprints, and the big block modifieds. So 3 more nights of racing in those series. NASCAR action, it's championship weekend at Phoenix Friday night. It's the Lucas Oil 150, 10 o'clock on Fox Sports 1 for the Truck Series.
Right.
Xfinity Series will race Saturday in the Xfinity Series Championship, 6 p.m. on USA Network.
What time is the truck race?
10 p.m. Eastern. These are all Eastern time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're over on the West Coast,
Yeah,
so
they
it'll be like 7 o'clock local time. And then the Cup Series Championship on Sunday at Phoenix there. That's going to be at 3 o'clock. That will be on NBC. So that's your Big D's Pizza Racing menu. Hammer Down Hotline this week. We got a text. If you want to send in a text, leave a message, whatever, you can feel free to do so anytime, day or night. That number is 419-318-3081. I had to wait for it to pop up so I can read it. 419-318-3081. Feel free to call, text, whatever. Leave a message or type a message. Doesn't matter. This week we got a text. And
let us know if you think NASCAR needs to put a halt to the Chastain move.
There you go. This week's text was if somebody Ty Gibbs you, apparently that's also a thing now. A Ty Gibbs. You got a Ross Chastain move and you got a Ty Gibbs move. If somebody Ty Gibbs you, how would you both handle it? I'll let you answer this first. If you get Ty Gibbsed, if you get put into the wall on the final lap while you're leading, what do you do?
Scott, tagging somebody in the left rear is a really chicken poo move. There would be retribution. It may not be immediately. Somebody's going to pay.
Okay. Like when you say immediately, do you mean like in future weeks or maybe later that night?
Scott, racers don't forget. You know that.
That was my answer. Was this going to be that's something I would definitely file away and remember for the next time I see that particular vehicle
racers don't forget.
Yes. So there's the answer. That's an easy one. I like that one.
Yeah.
Don't Ty Gibbs somebody. It's not good.
No, left rear is not, or I'm sorry, the right rear is not fair game.
You know, bumping a little bit to move someone out of the way. That's all right. Stuffing them in the wall. That's
Scott, rubbing is not racing. That's a line from a movie.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
See, I prefer to try and pass people clean.
Absolutely,
or as clean as
and
I
your
can.
car represents that.
Sometimes, there is contact. It's not intentional, but, we race on dirt on the edge of control, inches away, so sometimes there will be a little contact.
Right.
And I get that from other people, too, and understand that. So, I mean, that's kind of something. If you get mad at that,
but if you hook somebody in the right rear, that's because
that's a little different.
They intend to send you into the fence.
Yeah, and that's not good. That's expensive and dangerous.
And almost always involves some innocent.
Now, somebody else gets caught up in it, and I've
racer.
had that happen to me where I've gotten caught up in somebody else's payback. So that's also something else to consider. But anyway, thanks to associate producer Dave Kemper, contributors Matt Swanner, John Young, Doug Dock, and Bob Stazak. Make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report, follow us on YouTube as well. Always listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, whatever. Check us out at HammerdownRacingReport.com. Anything you need to know about the show is there. Also helps if you rate and review us and you share our broadcasts with all your friends.
Yeah.
Even if they're not racing, maybe we can make them racing fans. Probably not, but it doesn't hurt.
Could.
Thanks to our sponsors, Big D's Pizza, Oakshade Raceway, Ron Miller Race Cars, Freeze Frame Photos, Dominator Race Products, Headhunters, Barber Studio and Salon in Perrysburg. Thanks again to this week's guests as well, Todd Sherman and Gabe Mueller. Next week on the show, we're talking Flat Rock champions.
Ooh.
Still working on a couple, but I already have Eric Lee, Billy Early, and Mike Miller are locked in.
Very good.
So we'll have at least those, if not more. Until then, I guess there's no local track to get out and support this.
Don't forget that next Tuesday's Election Day, whether you vote left, right, or somewhere in the middle, be there.
I already voted.
Good boy.
I'm done. And I don't like that they keep sending me stuff. I feel like I'm killing trees. by throwing them in the recycle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. 7 o'clock next week. We'll be back with Flat Rock Champions. Have a great weekend. Enjoy whatever you're doing this weekend. Hopefully it's not raking leaves, because that's not fun.
Get out and vote, folks.
There you go, on Tuesday.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.